The Republic was a galactic democracy that boasted having fair and equal rights for all. However, when it was forced to join a galactic conflict, did it go too far? Did the Republic commit any war crimes? Now, first and foremost, the most obvious factor that would make many think that the Republic was guilty of war crimes is the Clone Army, an army built up of slaves that were bioengineered to do whatever they said. Now, this is a very hot button issue, and I released a video the other day discussing how ethical this actually is, so definitely go check this out, as it's difficult to argue by our own moral standards. But ultimately, we think that this is in many ways a war crime, not necessarily for the creation of the army, but because of how it was treated. So we're not going to talk about the Clone Army in this video necessarily. Firstly, we're going to talk about how the Republic conducted itself throughout the war. As it escalated, the Republic became more and more obligated to pander to the whims of its members to stop them defecting to the CIS. An example of this is the Pantorans. After discovering the Tals on Ordo Plutonia, the chairman of the Pantoran Assembly ordered the clones to kill the solitary tribe of Tals who called the world home. Now, thankfully, the Jedi, with the help of a senator, managed to find a way around this and managed to form a pact between the two peoples. However, this showed us two very important things. Firstly, people were willing to commit war crimes, and they were given the means to do it. They were going to kill a sentient native species just because they were in their way and they didn't want to lose the world. And two, the clones would follow orders regardless of what it incurred. The clones, if ordered to, would have done that and carried out this war crime. It's important to remember that the Clone Wars took place around countless worlds and countless systems, and we've got to admit, there's many corrupt senators in the Republic who would have used the war to better themselves and carry out their own prejudice. And it's very likely that more events similar to the one that happened on Ordo Plutonia would have happened across the galaxy, clones being ordered to do things by superiors that weren't Republic protocol. And we're going to say that anything that results in the killing of innocents can be classified as a crime, even in a time of war. Another very big factor that must be considered is the secret contingency orders that Sidious had installed. Now, we don't know the full extent of these contingency orders, however in Legends they include things such as the arrest and execution of civilians, and many other very questionable commands. But in canon, we have Order 66, to kill the Jedi, to kill those who are surrendering, to kill children, and this is definitely a war crime. Again, this mostly reflects on the Republic's ineptitude as opposed to its malice. Officially, it didn't know about the orders, but the fact that it exists, that the Republic was so irresponsible with its huge army to not have plans to ensure this sort of stuff didn't happen, was a terrible mistake. And then we have the Jedi. Now, we've talked before about how the Jedi act without regulation and outside the chain of command, which allows them to abuse their power. We could very easily say that General Krell's actions are a crime of war against his own people. And this is something that, again, the Republic is responsible for. They're the ones who made the Jedi generals. We also have the fact that the Jedi have done some very sordid things. For example, they kidnap children in a way. They go through different worlds, finding Force-sensitive children to train as Jedi, and sometimes the parents of these children aren't exactly willing to give them away, but they have to. And although this isn't something exclusive to the war, the Republic sponsored it. They put the Jedi in a position of power. They let innocent children be taken away from their homes and indoctrinated into something that could easily be classified as a cult. To conclude, I don't believe that the Republic itself is evil. Throughout the war, it conducted itself relatively admirably in the face of a looming and merciless threat. The Republic was never actively using civilians as human shields like the CIS did, for example. However, despite the Republic not being personally responsible for the numerous crimes committed in its name, it is still responsible. The Republic represents good intentions, a galaxy of peace and equality, but these intentions, without proper procedure and oversight, were dangerous, and no one aside from Sidious himself is more responsible for the countless deaths of civilians and clones, and the rise of an autocratic imperial government that abused its own people, than the Republic is, and that is its true crime. But what do you think of the Republic, and what do you think its greatest crime was? I hope that you enjoyed. If so, please remember to like, sub and share, as it helps the channel grow and it's always really appreciated. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter @TheLoreGuy for regular updates when new videos are coming out. Thanks for watching, I do hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.